Let's speak to parenting expert Sue Atkins, who's on the lines with us. Sue, what do you make of this report first? Does it worry you that kids as young as 11 have got the cost of living crisis causing them anxiety?
Oh, yes, of course. And so I've just written a blog about that with some practical ways to speak and talk to your kids about budgeting and changes. And, so you're not making them anxious. You've got to be aware of their ages and stages. If they're 5, you don't want to make them feel nervous, but you can get them involved in turning off the lights or perhaps looking for not brands when you're shopping. When you're 15, you need to talk about, we need to unplug your devices when you've finished using them, turn them off. If you're going to cancel a subscription, it's quite nice to sit down as a family, chat about it and say, well, which one do you think as a family should go, so they don't resent it? And with pocket money, it's exactly the same. Talk and teach your kids. They're learning from you all the time about money. And you're right about being embarrassed. When you were talking there about the shame of that. Don't feel ashamed about talking about it. Everybody's in the same boat. Don't be embarrassed about it, but do have the conversations, because there's studies that grow up to be better around money themselves and understand the dilemmas that parents face.
Sue, following on from that and what Owen said, and with kids, image is everything, wearing the right clothes, doing the right activities, being able to keep up with your peers and in whatever social circumstances you're on. If there is that feeling of shame and the child doesn't understand what is happening, how should parents approach it? What is so people watching now who are thinking, gosh, we have that problem at home, what's their first step?
Be honest. I think it's very important to be transparent, be honest, sit down and have a chat with them, around a family meal or something. Keep the information simple. I call it KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, so that your children, depending on their ages and their maturity, can understand it. Get them involved in it. You're a team, aren't you? We were the team family Atkins. So you get your kids involved in it. With young children, you can actually sort of make it a game in different ways that they can think about turning off the tap if they're brushing their teeth. And so it's all about planning what you want to say. Keep it simple, but explain it, and don't frighten them. But, explain it to them, because this is another way, actually. It's an opportunity, if you choose it, to make it that, in talking and teaching them about managing money and about values around money.
And Sue, another thing that as a parent, I would feel that might have come into people's minds, talking about problems in front of the kids. Does that come into the be as honest as you can, or should you try and keep some of the conversations away from the ears of younger kids?
Oh, absolutely be careful around that, because kids are looking, listening, learning from you all the time. They pick up your vibes. You don't even have to say anything. If you suddenly are very tense, you and your partner are getting more and more anxious, they're going to pick up on that, even if they don't understand why. So be very careful if you're on a mobile phone or you're chatting to somebody and you're out and about your anxiety that perhaps you're pushing through, that they're picking up on. And also with your partner, have those conversations, perhaps when the kids are definitely in bed and asleep, and try and keep it low on hostility and kind of high on harmony, if you can. Not easy, but important for the children.
OK, Sue, thank you. Graham has got in touch from Devon. Graham, welcome to the show. What would you like to say?
Yes, hello. Hello, everybody. Just sort of broadening it on a pragmatic basis. I think parents now are under a lot of pressure, and pocket money is very difficult for them. When I was a young boy, I'm 77, we used to go and get jobs, and earn money for pocket money. We never got pocket money. And I think today, any pressure on parents is very difficult for them. Pocket money is not a right, it's what parents can afford.
Graham, can I just to defend the honour of younger people? Younger people now stay on an education much longer, and they therefore takes up far more of their time as teenagers, because compulsory education obviously is much later on. People now are expected to be in education or training till the age of 18. and many of them are juggling a job at the same time. I mean, you know, looking back, I was a paper boy from the age of 13, 14, whatever. I had to earn my keep. When I got pocket money, it was in exchange for doing household chores. But all I'd say is lots of those younger people are, at the same time as being in education and training, far more than your generation at the time, they are also holding down jobs.
Yes, I understand that. I'm retired and I need a lot of help. I've got two young Filipino guys, 17 or 18. They do the garden and whatnot, which gives them a bit of extra money, and they don't put any pressure on their mother, who's a single mother, because I pay them. But, you know, I feel that obviously times have changed a lot, and certainly at the moment, with all the pressures on economic pressures, parents are going through a bad time.
Of course.
They love their children, and they don't want them to go without. And I'm sure, apart from pocket money, they buy them clothes. You know, they make sure they've got their what is it called, the Xboxes and all that. So there's a lot they do for them.
OK, Graham, thank you so much for calling us. Graham in Devon. Let's take another quick one. Tracy's in Merseyside. Tracy, welcome to the show. What would you like to say?
Hiya, good morning panel. Hiya. I'm a single mum. I've brought my two children up since my youngest was under 2 and my children are now 23 and 19. And throughout their childhood, there would often be times when the school would say, we're going to Austria, or we're going here, or we're going here. And I had to say to my girls, I'm sorry, I cannot afford to pay. I'm not going to borrow the money. And the school actually ran classes or activities for those children that were in a similar position to myself that couldn't pay. Now my girls are older, obviously I don't give them pocket money, but they have a very, very decent and clear understanding and value of money. For example, my youngest one is a chef in a cafe in Southport, and she knows exactly how much she spends, how many hours she's got to work to buy that particular item. And I think if I'd have had money readily available to just throw at my children, they would have been very, very lackadaisical with it, and money would have been, you know, they wouldn't have bothered. Whereas now they've seen me struggle, they've seen me go without, and I think they've got a value of money. If I had children that were of pocket money age, I would absolutely 100% be having this conversation with them about, look, there are times in your life where you have to, you know, be a little bit tighter and respect the value of money. You know, for me, it's always been an issue. And I think it brings up decent children if they are used to seeing different times in life and just understand the value of money.
Tracy, thank you for that. Sue, just before we go, a lot of people are wondering what age is the right age to start making kids aware of, as we heard there, the value of things. The fact that if you say, can we go out for some fast food, or can we go for a day at the seaside, how much that actually costs for the kids to be aware of it. Would you draw a line at a particular age?
Well, I've written a blog about ages and stages, whether it's at the age of 4, it's very different to when they're 14. I think the thing around pocket money for me, the main message here is to be clear yourself. What is it for? Explain to your kids what it's covering or what you're going to use it for. And then now you talk and teach them about, you know, saving it, spending it. When it, you know, the advert, when it's gone, it's gone. So you've got to be careful with it. So again, there's no embarrassment or shame in saying, look, we can't do that all the time. You know, I'm not Butlins Redcoat. We can't keep taking you everywhere. But, you know, we'll go to the park, we'll make sandwiches, we'll bring some friends, we'll bring a football, and we'll have a laugh and a good time. So there's all sorts of ways that you can talk and teach children about what's going on. But the thing to try and do is not make your children feel anxious about it. You know, give them that safety and that security, but talk and teach them.
OK. Sue, thank you so much. I thought that was fascinating. And thank you for your calls on this. And thank you to Sue Atkins. Now, we're going to move on after the break. Would a windfall tax solve the energy crisis? 0207 862 2222 is the number that you need. We'll see you very soon.